I'm Roger Ellefson. I'm the program manager for the Xerox Healthcare MFP, and we're talking to Joshua Brown, who is with ComDoc. So, Josh, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, my name is Josh Brown. I am on the major accounts team with ComDoc, and I've been in the copier industry for 7 years.
All right, thank you. And you've got some great stuff going on with Continuing Healthcare Solutions. They're a customer of yours, so but they haven't been a customer forever. So tell us how you won the business with Continuing Healthcare Solutions.
Yeah, Continuing Healthcare was a company that we always had one or two copiers at. We had a long-term relationship, and as Continuing Healthcare grew, our arrangement with them did not. And so they were getting devices from whatever vendor was closest by. And they had maybe 25 different vendors with a whole bunch of different brands of equipment scattered throughout their locations. They now have two headquarters with 32 locations across the state, and they specialize in home health care and assisted nursing, nursing homes, things of that nature.
Yep. So how did you convince them to go with Xerox?
My company, MT Business Technologies, a few years ago, combined with ComDoc, and with that we needed to change over the Ricoh devices that we had with the customer to the Xerox product. And so obviously whenever you're taking a look at making a switch, you want to make sure that you sell the value of the new platform. And these folks were pretty new to Xerox overall. They had a lot of different brands, but that was not one that they had very many of, and definitely not something that their IT staff was very familiar with. So as we took a look at the Xerox marketplace, all the different apps and things of that nature, one of the apps really stood out, and that was the Healthcare MFP. So we used that app to create a totally separate demo dedicated to that capability and what that can mean for their business. We knew that they had point-click care as their EHR, and we knew that they were sending faxes all day long from location to location, to headquarters, to the pharmacy, back and forth. And all of these faxes were costing them a lot of money. It's print, it's a lot of POTS lines, and it just means that you have to have copiers with fax boards everywhere. And so we knew that the No2 product and the Healthcare MFP should be able to play really well with that stuff. As we dug deeper into No2, we started to understand a little bit more of, in the Healthcare MFP from Xerox, we understood how all of that stuff connected really well with their EHR, which again is point-click care. And so, we did this preparation on the back end. We got our talk track set, and then we presented this to them, and they were amazed by it. They were not expecting anybody to have anything like this, especially on the copier side. And so that's what eventually turned the tide in our favor.
Outstanding. So they were looking for you to provide a quality copier, but you came and impacted their clinical workflow, and that was the last thing they were expecting, but it was a pretty good surprise for them, huh?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's right. So, they actually had let us know prior to that meeting that, they liked us, we did a good job, but that they were going to move forward with the HP platform across all their locations. They had wanted to do a consolidation. They wanted to get rid of all these different vendors and bills coming that were hard to maintain, hard to track, contract agreements that were hard to track, but they wanted to do it with HP. And so by offering this value through No2 and through the Healthcare MFP, we changed that to a Xerox sale.
What's happening now? Where are you at now with the relationship? What's going on? What's going on now here in June of 2020?
So by the end of June, we will have 169 new Xerox devices deployed across their 33 locations.
You've had a few units in there for a while. So how's the customers been using it? What's their reaction been?
They love it. They've actually requested us to send a few out ahead of time for individuals that they know can have the most benefit. And so we're sending those out on a short-term demo until we get everything else processed and all the machines sent out. And so the customer is eager to try this. Now, granted, this hasn't necessarily been a very short sales cycle. I mean, I started working on this back last June, but over last fall is when we started implementing our first devices with No2 and with the healthcare MFP, and they have been very impressed with how much easier it makes life for the people on the front lines. Anybody in healthcare will tell you that, unfortunately, it's an industry where turnover is endemic. And so they needed a way to get the right information, input the correct way into their EHR that didn't require a lot of training. And this fit the bill for them.
Outstanding. So then looking forward to working with other customers in healthcare, how are you going to, what's your plan there?
You never want to reveal too much about one organization to the other, especially if they're in direct competition. But the details of this success story is something that I'm going to try to get in front of every medium-size healthcare organization in Northeast Ohio. This level of integration with point-click care, which is extremely popular, is unprecedented. You can now send a fax, and a lot of that information from the fax will automatically be filed into the correct folder in point-click care without having to do a bunch of extra clicks and learn some kind of complicated digital interface. It's very straightforward. It's very easy to use, and that level of value is something that nobody else is talking about right now. So I think that anybody, especially with point-click care, but a whole bunch of other programs too, would really see the immediate value.
What's your advice to sales reps? What would your word of advice be to, how to best leverage this to the typical sales reps out there?
My word of advice is understand just enough to get folks interested. If they start asking too many questions, tell them, hey, I love this product. I've seen it work well. I don't know all the technical details, but I have the people behind me that do. And what's great is everybody at Xerox does have that person behind them. We do have the resources here. So you just need to reach out and utilize them.
All right. Perfect. Thank you.